Chamath is of Sri Lankan descent, just to make that clear if you didn't hear his little mention of it.
Didn't you go there a couple of years ago?
I mean, here's another great example of, in this case, this was the left who managed to fuck things up. So it's not just the right that screws things up in that country, it's the left as well. So in this example, I went there and I offered to bring Google Loon, myself and Google. We offered to bring internet access to the entire country, like guaranteed internet access. This was like 5 years ago. And we set up an entity, and the government tried to do the right thing and grant some spectrum. And instead of sort of like fast tracking this and allowing, this project to become a reality, there was an enormous amount of infighting that essentially said that, we were trying to steal the license, or we stole the license, or we were trying to monetize the license. And both me and Google were just like, forget this, this is not worth it. And we abandoned the project and walked away. Instead, Google ends up servicing a whole bunch of other countries. And the reason why Sri Lanka was part of it is because the balloons follow a certain orbit, and it would go over Sri Lanka no matter what. So it's kind of like, we can light it up for free. All we need is spectrum in this country. Google's already doing that work. So, I've gone there a few times. I found it very difficult to try to do the right thing. I think there's a level of infighting that I hope this crisis changes. I also think that it's an opportunity for people to reset writ large the gerontocracy that runs many of these countries, including the United States, quite honestly. There is an opportunity. There are some, of my friends who I think may emerge in the next few weeks, who are very well-known people in that country, who literally want to, step one, remove most of the executive power from the presidency, make it a true, parliamentary style system with an empowered prime minister and empowered elected officials, and let the country run and fix itself, deprioritize some defense spending, deprioritize the growth of the public sector, reprioritize the growth of the private sector. I hope they're successful. I would love to invest, if given the opportunity, under those kinds of market conditions. And I would love to go back at some point. But my history with the country has been very fraught, because as I've gone to try to do the work, Friedberg, people are just haters. And they will cut their nose off despite they'll just do the worst things possible.
Chamath, I think you have a second swing at bat here. Only 50% or so of people in Sri Lanka have internet access. And maybe we could talk to our friend over at Starlink, and that could be an incredible mitzvah and changing thing there. If you get 100% of the country on internet, my God, that could change everything. And it seems completely doable.
By the way, and this is the most literate country in the world. You have to understand, like, the people in that country, the human potential in that country is incredible. Okay. There are not developing countries like this that have this type of literacy, and the kindness of the people. These are incredible, hardworking people. But the elected class is some of the most inward, navel-gazing, corrupt people. And this is the opportunity for the young people of that country to wipe the slate clean with all of them and start over with some.
I think,
the literacy rate is 92% or something crazy there. It's very high.
It's a highly educated, literate group of people.